Hello everyone. Today I'm in my basement steaming some winter coats for my daughter. So I thought I would give you a tutorial on how to do that. I'm washing some clothes, so you'll hear my washing machine going. This is the water reserve that comes with the steamer. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that with distilled water. It does have a good amount in it, but I'm going to fill it up. Mine here has a knob, and I'm just going to turn it on. This wasn't the most expensive, but it works for me, for the little steaming I do. This one actually has these nice clips on the bottom as well, so that if you have something like, say a pillowcase as an example, you can clip it to the top and to the bottom clips and keep it nice and straight while you're steaming. I also have this nice slanted ironing board here that I also got at Walmart, and I like to keep it slanted for when I'm steaming things as well. And to protect my back, because I'm working on the basement floor, I use anti-fatigue mats to stand on while I'm steaming, because otherwise I get a sore back. The first thing I'm steaming here today is this leather coat. It's not something I can just throw in my washing machine. I went ahead and I turned the coat inside out. If you're not familiar with the steamer, the steamer head is just like an iron. It is hot. So it is imperative that you don't touch the face of it where the steam is coming out of. You can grab it by the handle, but don't ever touch the face of it. It is boiling. So you just take it off by the handle. This is the liner because I turned the coat inside out. And we're just gonna, I'm not even gonna touch it with the steamer head. I'm just literally inches from it and just steaming it. Now, the reason for this is it will disinfect it. It will also take away any odors. I don't want it to burn the fabric on the inside of the coat. I don't want it to burn the leather. So I'm not touching it with this. Now, a lot of fabrics you can touch it with the head, just like an iron. But this particular coat, I'm choosing not to do that, and I'm just running the head about 2 inches or so away from it and just steaming it really good. Also, because this is a used item, this will sanitize the interior of the coat. I had some vintage linens recently, and I was steaming those. It took away all the odors. It smelled like freshly washed, ironed linens. That's what it actually smelled like. Now for this next part, I think I'm going to get my slanted ironing board and show you how I'm going to do the other side. I've pretty much done the sleeves, so I want to do the inside. This is the back of the coat back here, and this is the inside of it. So I want to steam this part. So for me, it was just easier to put it over the slanted ironing board instead of turning it around on the hanger. So I'm just going to do this. As I go down the interior of this, it is changing darker. You can see where the steam is hitting it. Also, as I'm steaming this coat, I'm noticing some funky stains, which I didn't notice before. So I'm going to want to take those and address those with a cleaner. There's one right here. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to put my finger there because I don't want to get burned in the steam. But it's right here. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to address that and a couple other spots with an actual cleaner. I just went ahead with the steamer. I was able to highlight the areas that were stained. So wherever it was, I just went ahead and misted with the Tide. And then now I have a disinfecting wipe. Now, normally, if I find stains on clothing, I have a handmade concoction that I use. I know everybody has their own recipe for this, but this is mine. I use Dawn, I use baking soda, and water, and I mix it up. This is an old batch, it's kind of dried in there, but I would clean this bowl out, then I would mix a new batch, equal parts of water, Dawn, and baking soda, and I would make the batch big enough to do what I was doing. If I had a few shirts and pairs of jeans that my son needed cleaned, then I would do like a bigger batch. If I had one thing like an old tablecloth, then I would just do a small batch so I can customize it to what I need instead of wasting the products. I also found that Lysol wipes work well with some stains, as does Goo Gone. It just depends on how stubborn the stain is and what you're trying to accomplish. Another tip I have about steaming is when you're in between what you're steaming, I would recommend turning off the steamer just to give it a little break because it can get really super hot. So I have found that at least with my steamer, the handle gets really hot. And I just turn it off in between what I'm steaming so that way it helps with that and I don't have to worry about burning myself. So now that I went ahead and I washed those stains, I'm just going to see here. I don't see them anymore, so it worked. It did get rid of those stains. I don't know if they were like a grease stain or what it was. They were kind of oily looking. There's actually one right there. I don't know if the camera can see that. Let me move this out of the way. It's right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Tide back out. Let me see. Where'd it go? Give it a good squirt. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to switch to the side. Looks like this person was either a dog or cat owner. I'm seeing some fur. I don't smell any bad odors or anything, so I don't have to worry about that with this coat, which is a good thing. I try to pick that up in the thrift store too. Like if I'm going thrifting and I'm buying clothing, I try to do the sniff test, but sometimes the thrift stores have an overall thrifty smell and it's hard to pick up the smell on one particular item because it seems like everything smells that way. So sometimes I don't have success just sniffing out a smell on a product, except if it's heavily perfumed. There was a beautiful sweater I wanted at one thrift store, and it was gorgeous. It was priced right. But when I picked it up and smelled it, it was doused with perfume. And that was a warning sign to me because that told me the person hadn't even taken the time to put it in their washing machine before they brought it to the thrift store. And that kind of grossed me out. So I didn't buy it. There's the sleeve. Here's the other sleeve. I wouldn't put anything on my body like this without steaming it first. Because you never know how somebody took care of a garment of clothing or lack of care of the clothing. You don't know how long this person had this coat. And not to be disgusting, but you don't know if this person actually wore clothes while wearing this coat. And just think about all of the body, you know, the dead skin and odors and sweat and oils and all that come off on our clothing. Something like this, like a coat that people don't necessarily wash even once, you know, it's gonna get all that junk on it. But this will help for sure. Like I said, this steamer not only cleans, but it sanitizes with the steam. And I'm just going to do this side. Again, I'm not going to do the leather. This is for my adult daughter, so if she wants the leather cleaned, she can either A, take this to a dry cleaners, or B, I know you can buy leather care products and she can care for the leather. I'm just doing this to help her out. She's at work. So I just wanted to make sure this was nice and wearable for her before the cold air came in. Hey, Jax. Hey, buddy. Hi. Want to say hi to everybody? This is Jax. Say hi, Jax. Oh, you don't want to be held. I know, big boy. You say hello. Say hello. Everybody says hi. Hi. Say hi, Jax. Such a good boy. And excuse my appearance today, everyone. The reason I look like this is because yesterday I had a cleaning job. If you've seen any of my other prior videos, I do have a part-time gig. I've had it for quite a while now, and it is intense. I mean, I work my butt off from like anywhere from 4 to 8 hours in one shift, but it wipes me out. Between 1 and 2 days after, I'm exhausted. This fake fur, I've had some success depending on the type of fur, and other times I've had very bad luck. So sometimes this can melt and burn. I actually like it when they're removable because that's the easiest way to clean these things, but in this case this isn't coming off. It's not removable at all. The steamer takes seconds to heat up. Even the handle is hot again. Sometimes too, when you're steaming, the fabric itself can be hot. So you have to be careful about that too. If you go to pick up something that you just steamed, watch out for that because you don't want to get burnt. This here came from a thrift shop. It's American Eagle brand. And I'm going to see if there's a care tag on here because I don't know what this stuff is and if it can even be steamed. We'll see. Wool, acrylic, and wool can be steamed. Because the liner is a lighter color, it's very hard to see. With the black liner, I was able to watch the steam change the color of the liner, so I knew I had hit that spot. But with this liner, it's not showing up at all where the steam's hitting it, so I'm just trying to go in rows as best I can without touching the fabric. Also, if you're doing this and you're worried about getting burnt with the hand that's holding the garment, you can always get tongs. And just so you know, these steamers take a lot of distilled water. I try to have 2 gallons on hand at all times so I don't run out mid-steaming. it's out of water. This isn't hot to touch, even though I've been using this for a while. It does help to put some music on while you're doing this. I decided to make a YouTube video today, so I don't have music on in the background, but it helps pass the time and it keeps you entertained, because this can get tedious. It may leave some articles of clothing feeling damp. The water comes out of the steam holes and then the fabric gets wet. Even though I'm not touching this fabric with the steamer head, I am noticing it's damp. It's damp to touch. So just keep that in mind too. You might not be able to steam something and wear it right then and there. It may just need time to air out and dry. And I'm going to do the collar. I'm going to go ahead and shut my steamer off. I believe that's it for today. I'm going to leave that there just to air dry a little bit. And when my daughter comes home, she can take it from there. Thank you so much. Take care.